Oh, a lot of big companies do not care about AI. One of them being Vogue. Vogue just released their August print, and it received a fair amount of backlash for not one, not two, but 3 AI pieces. So here we have this video posted to TikTok by Ellie Voxel.
There are 3 AI ads in the new Vogue magazine, but only one of them is labeled AI. The first one is the Skechers ad. I always think it's interesting that they use a model of heels to advertise their sneakers. This Guess ad is 2 pages and it is very convincing. It is labeled AI very small here, and if I didn't know, I don't know if I would have caught this. You can tell a little bit by her hair, the perfection of it, but the details such as the texture of the wall and the hats, it all is very convincing.
We'll look back on these ads, by the way, with like higher res photos.
The only thing that really labels it as AI to me is the length of her ring finger right there. It's just not quite right. The third one is an ad for plastic surgery recovery. You can tell this one is AI by the perfect lines on her hair, but mostly the weird lines on her jewelry. Do you think major publications like Vogue should be allowed to use AI in their advertising? And should they at least be required to disclose it?
This is most definitely AI. Like, again, just like what Ellie said, you can take a look at the jewelry, and when the jewelry has such non-distinct detailing, like it looks detailed and then you look closer and then all of a sudden it is not detailed, most definitely a sign that it's a bit suspicious. She has 2 tennis bracelets on, but the spacing of it is so odd. Ellie mentions the Skechers ad right here. That was not the first time Skechers ran an AI ad in Vogue. I do think it should be disclosed. This article posted by Fortune.com titled Skechers draws backlash for full page ad in Vogue that reeks of AI. Quote, you actually didn't save any money because now I hate you, end quote. Written by Chloe Berger, posted December 14th, 2024 to Fortune. This is the ad in question that people are saying absolutely reeks of AI. It does. This one is an honest, humongous abomination in my opinion, because how did they not clock this? Like, potentially they were trying to save money with this. I don't even know, man. But I guarantee any designer could have done this and done an astronomically better job. We could just talk about a number of things. One, we have background people melting into each other in the background, flags of mystery countries, the fact that her heels, like the heel of her shoe is somehow longer than the front of her shoe, and her other foot, there is only one tiny little stilt. She has no shoe on the other foot. It is literally a toothpick. The alien looking hands. And then again, not to mention the irony of the fact that Skechers is a sneaker brand and the women wearing the shoes are wearing heels. Even if you asked a designer to give you a quick sketch in 1 hour, they could do a much better job than this. Guarantee you it would actually look normal. You can't even tell what bags this woman is trying to hold. It looks like multiple shopping bags, but they're actually supposed to be one bag. And then not to mention the fact that cleavage goes super, super deep, but the boob is supposed to end like all the way up here. Like the boob ends a lot higher than where the cleavage is going. I just thought that was funny. And the different earrings going on. This ad, honestly, is an I Spy game. The more you look at it, the worse it gets, truly. They did it again. Just like what Ellie is showing us with this new page in Vogue, and it's not disclosed. We have another woman with high heels advertising for Skechers, a sneaker brand. Low-key, it feels like Skechers didn't even try. We have the meat and bones of this one, and the meat and bones of the AI ad is Guess. That is this section here, and the Guess one is actually labeled. It is super tiny in the spine of the page, not even on the top, in the spine, so you have to crack it open, the magazine, like all the way to like then turn it to read the tiny text that says that it's AI. And we can go into this a little bit more. The Guess ad, and this was like from articles written by Forbes and BBC. The Guess ad is created by a Paris-based creative house called Seraphine Valora, and it is founded by 2 25-year-old women. So me and them are the same age, which I think is funny. According to an interview, the founder stated that the AI models were trained on runway looks, campaign shots, and studio lighting setups. And apparently, according to BBC, Guess co-founder Paul Marciano actually requested Seraphine to create the AI models. Guess's co-founder, fully in the know, was like, yeah, give me that. These two are the founders. Again, don't send hate to them. The founders, Valentina and Andrea, stated that Guess's co-founder Paul Marciano approached them on Instagram to ask them to create an AI model as part of the brand's summer campaign. They stated that they created 10 draft models, and he selected one brunette woman and one blonde woman that they explored further. I think is interesting. They stated that the company has 5 employees and it can take a month from idea to inception of the completed product. And they charge anywhere up to low 6 figures for a client like Guess to create some AI models. You know what's even funnier? Andrea said, people think these images came to be by AI, which is not true. We have a team and we still hire models. The creative house, Seraphine Valora, actually hired a real model and photographed her over the course of a week wearing Guess clothing. And then after, I guess, spending an entire week shooting photos of her, they then used those photos further make the AI model. They write, we needed to see what poses would flatter the product most and how it looked on a real woman. We cannot generate an image if we don't have an informed idea of what positions will be the most flattering. What I'm confused about is if you went through all this time and effort to photograph a real woman wearing the clothes, why couldn't she just be the model? In response to that, Petrescu argued that AI gave clients greater choice and efficiency, requiring less time and smaller budgets. Rivaled, it's so they can keep the AI model for later without having to constantly pay the woman to show up to be the model, which is really sad. And we can see here, this is their Instagram page, one of the AI models. On a complete side note, I do think it's pretty funny. You could kind of tell it's AI due to the lack of physics going on here. Like, we have all these strings hanging the hats, but like physics doesn't work this way. The hat would not hang this way if the anchor point was here at the corner of the brim. You know, her thumb is weirdly long relative to the rest of her fingers. It looks a bit odd. One of the other guest photos featuring the AI model. This is the other one. This is the one with the weirdly short middle finger. Also, if you look closely, the chair she's sitting on doesn't have 4 legs or 3 legs. It has 2 legs. The AI model is actually being used in real stores to advertise the clothing. Is it false advertising if the models being used to advertise the clothing aren't real? And therefore, the clothing isn't real either. And here are more examples of their AI models. Now, they were asked, hey, what about the diversity in your models? And in response, Seraphine said, oh, we tried using darker skinned models, but they don't get enough likes on social media. And then also they were asked, oh, what about plus size models? And they said they can't do plus size models because the technology isn't up to par to make plus size models. Now, again, my thing is probably right. Because they train their model on real runway looks, there's not that many plus size models in runway. There just is not as much, which I think it should be different, but that's just how society works right now. And as a result, there probably just is not enough runway media of plus size models for them to have an accurate AI train on it and have it be accurate. I do think it doesn't get enough likes on social media is a pretty wild statement to make. That is the exact concern that people are having. But this was here on the BBC article where Gonzalez and Petrescu, who are the founders again, state, we don't create unattainable looks. Actually, the AI models for Guess looks quite realistic. Ultimately, all adverts are created to look perfect and usually have supermodels in. So what we're doing is no different. And again, this is where they said, we posted AI images of women with different skin tones, but people do not respond to them. We don't get any traction or likes. BBC continues to cite that a former model, Sydney Bovell, told BBC that it's problematic to not label AI content because it could have a detrimental impact on people's mental health. Quote, beauty standards are already being influenced by AI. There are young girls getting plastic surgery to look like a face in a filter. And now we see people who are entirely artificial, she says. Which is completely true. There's already a lot of people getting Botox and fillers in their face to get the Instagram filter face. And that's just a filter. It's still your real face, just slightly distorted with a filter. Now we have fully AI women being used in adverts. I can only imagine the body image issues you're going to have if this is the reality you're comparing to. Reality, I say in quotes, because this is not real. That's the state of the Vogue advertisements. It really looks like Vogue is not stopping with the AI ads because that's not the first time there's been AI ads or publications in Vogue. And it looks like it's going to continue. Do with that information what you will. I'm curious, at the end of the day, what are your thoughts on these AI models? Are you totally down to see AI models in magazines and media, or would you rather see actual human models? We'd love to hear your thoughts down below with respect. And yeah, if you like the video, I would appreciate it if you like and subscribe. Don't forget to check me out on Etsy and VGen. I sell digital art for streamers and creators there. And I have a coffee with free resources and free emotes if you would like that. And I also stream on Twitch 3 days a week, Mondays, Wednesdays, Saturdays at 6 p.m. PST.